Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Georgia. I'm a women's online health and fitness coach, and it is my sole purpose on planet Earth to help you feel your most confident both inside and out. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I honestly appreciate you guys so much, more than you will ever know. And I am so excited for today's video because I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of an update on my Hyrox training so far. We are currently, as I'm recording this, the 1st of April, and I'm competing this month in Barcelona in my first ever Hyrox. I'm doing mixed doubles with my boyfriend, and I am definitely very excited but also a little bit nervous. So I wanted to run you through what my training has been like, how I'm finding it, and also just give you a little bit of a reality, because I feel like Hyrox life is massively glamorized on social media and it's far from glamorous, that's what I will say. I'm also joined by Coco, who is chilling in the background, so hopefully she will keep nice and quiet for this video as well. And on top of all of that, I've just looked at my mic and it has low battery, so I'm hoping that we will survive this video with at least semi-decent audio quality, and if not, we will just plow on through anyway. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. So what I thought I would do is split this up into my training, nutrition, recovery, and then cover some other bits and bobs at the end as well. So we'll delve into training first. Now, one thing that I will say is my training is a lot at the moment. I have always been someone who loves training and is just obsessed with exercising, moving my body to feel good, but I feel like Hyrox training has just taken this to a whole other level. Like, I genuinely love the way that I train at the moment. I am someone who loves a challenge. I don't like to take it easy. I really enjoy a session that I will come out of feeling like I have literally just given my heart and soul to, and that's exactly what this type of training is pushing me to do. I definitely am training a lot at the moment, and like I just said, I'm someone who loves to train, so I don't struggle to train frequently, but it's more the time, I guess, of fitting it in. So my current training schedule is 6 sessions per week, which is definitely more than I am used to. Before Hyrox training, I was training for a half marathon, and I was doing 3 runs per week, 3 strength sessions per week, but I would quite often stack 1 or 2 of those days, so I'd have at least 2 rest days per week. And now obviously that is cut down and my sessions are a lot, so I normally just do 1 session per day, which means I am training 6 out of 7 days consistently per week, which luckily with my job and the flexibility that I do have, it is manageable, but it does take a lot of time out of my day because my sessions can also be quite long. So that is definitely something that has taken a lot of adjustment, but to be quite honest, when you have big goals and you want to achieve those big goals and you want to do a blooming good job at achieving those goals, then you do have to make some sacrifices. So time has been one of those things, and just making sure that I am blocking out enough time for myself and my training every single day so that I can get the absolute best out of every single session. Now, my coach does take care of all of my programming, which has made my life so much easier, and it's meant that I've learned so much about this process, how to work on my weaknesses along the way. So what we did initially when I transitioned from half marathon training, I was doing 1 Hyrox base session per week just to sort of like build up a little bit of a baseline of like that kind of fitness, and then before we transitioned into full Hyrox training, we did a test week, and let me just tell you, she was sent to test me. So in this test week, we tested some 3 rep maxes, we tested a lot of the Hyrox based movements and also some like running protocols as well. A lot of it was like max reps for a certain amount of time and like that kind of thing, so it was very intense, but I actually kind of really enjoyed it in a strange way, which just goes to show what kind of person I am, I guess. Should you be on the table? If you are a cat owner and you're watching this video, you will feel my pain with this current situation. Honestly, they know no boundaries. So yeah, test week was mental, but what that did was allowed my coach to see where my weaknesses were and where my strengths were as well. So that meant that when she was programming, we could really focus on those areas of weakness and really pushing them, because we do have quite a short amount of time to prep for this Hyrox. So I want to say we're currently 4 weeks out. 1, 2, 3. 3.5 weeks out. which is a little bit scary. And obviously, I've done probably about 3 weeks of full-on Hyrox training prior to this, so about 6 weeks to prep, which is not a huge amount of time at all. But obviously, having just come off the back of a half marathon, I did come into this with a decent level of fitness, and having been in a building phase prior to that, a decent level of strength. But with the nature of doing mixed doubles, it means that the weights are that bit heavier. They're actually the equivalent to the women's pro weights. So that is something that I definitely was conscious of. So once we'd highlighted my weaknesses, I then went into a program that was solely purposed on building on those and making them into strengths. So my current training split, obviously with the 6 days a week, is one longer active recovery run, which I always do on the weekends. And then in the week, I have 2 strength sessions and 3 Hyrox workout of the days. And one of those workout of the days also generally has a threshold run attached to it. It's a lot. And these change sort of like on a 2-weekly basis. So my program does change quite often so that I am constantly allowing my body to like push and adapt, basically. I can't lie, the first couple of weeks, I literally felt like I had been hit by a truck multiple times. I actually sent my coach a voice note and I was like, I think I've been run over by a truck. And then maybe it reversed back over me again and then ran over me again for a third time, because that is literally how battered my body was feeling. But as the weeks have gone on, my body has adapted so well. Something that has also changed a lot within my training is the rep ranges that I work with. I do a lot more sort of like lower rep work and very heavy weights, whereas before, when I was in my building phase, I was working with much higher reps. So it's been nice to have that change. And then within my threshold workouts and Hyrox workout of the days, it's been a lot of compromise running, a lot of interval work, a lot of high intensity, high heart rate work. So yeah, good fun, but definitely flipping hard. And currently for me, my biggest thing is the sled push. We are not really friends at the moment, and that is okay. This is probably my biggest weakness going into this Hyrox, and throughout my prep, it's something that has improved so much. I actually sled pushed 135 kilos yesterday, and the weight I need to push I think is 152 for Hyrox. So it does scare me that I'm not quite there yet, but obviously I do have my partner there for support. However, I very much want to be actively part of every single station and not cop out just because he can push the weight. So we're still a little bit of Hyrox weight, with the sled push. However, I would say, considering 2 weeks ago I tried to push 80 or 100 and basically it pushed me. We have definitely come on in leaps and bounds in just a small amount of time, and that is a massive credit to Annie, who has been smashing it on the program front. So Annie, if you're watching, thank you. Favorite exercises at the moment, I feel like I'm loving lunges. I have a love-hate relationship with wall balls, and I've always been a bit of a burpee fan. Clients, if you're watching this, don't panic. I'm not about to start adding burpees to every single one of your workouts. I just really enjoy them, and I don't really know why. I also love the ski, and I don't mind rowing, but farmer's carry, definitely not a massive fan of. Sled pull, I've done a lot more the last 2 weeks, and I can actually pull over the weight requirement for the mixed doubles, which is obviously the best place to be in. Ideally, I want to be training heavier, so then when I go into the race scenario, it is slightly easier than what I've been used to. So that is where I'm at currently, but like I said, still got about 3.5 weeks to go, and a lot still to push for, and I still feel like I have so much to give. I'm still feeling so good, so energized. Which brings me really nicely onto nutrition, because this has played a huge part in my journey towards prepping for this Hyrox. When I tell you, I am eating so much at the moment, and this is something that past me would have found really difficult. I previously literally wanted to eat as little as possible. I really struggled with higher calories because I associated that with gaining weight, and not looking aesthetically the way I wanted to. But I can honestly say I look the best I ever have, and I eat the most I ever have. Now, obviously that is down to me training a lot, but it's also down to me eating the right things and fueling my body in the right way. Now, once again, I work with my coach one-on-one to make sure that my nutrition is correct for what I need. And a big thing that's really helped me through this whole Hyrox training block, and even for my half marathon as well, is making sure I go into all of my sessions correctly fueled. And literally after filming this video, I'm going to go and train, and I will be eating before I do any of that. If you are someone who has big performance goals and you are going into every session fasted and feeling like you have absolutely nothing to give, something needs to change. Now, my calories have tapered up very gradually over time, I actually initially was in a building phase. So my calories were already quite high. And then I then transitioned into half marathon prep and then Hyrox prep off the back of that. So we have just kept calories consistently very high with the aim of maintaining body weight where it's at. My body is now at a weight where it seems pretty keen to stay. It's at a weight where I can recover the best, I can perform the best, I can fuel really, really well. And it's just kind of like hitting all the marks. And again, this is something that's been fine-tuned over a long period of time of me working with my coach. I've worked with my coach now for 2.5 years. So we have a long-term relationship where she knows me inside out, back to front, and we've been able to work a method that literally works hand in hand with my body and what it needs. But a huge part of this prep has been eating and fueling, and also as well not getting complacent with the fact that I have loads of calories so I can eat rubbish. Don't get me wrong, I'm a massive advocate for balance, and if you follow me on Instagram then you will know this, and if you don't, I will pop it down below so you can drop a follow. And also if you're one of my one-to-one clients as well, you'll know how much I value having balance in life, but also prioritizing a diet that's really high in whole foods and good quality foods as well. And that is what has allowed me to feel and perform my best this entire time. And the same goes for recovery as well. Now that I am training so hard, my recovery is more important than ever. I spend a lot of time foam rolling, doing mobility work, and a lot of time sleeping. I sleep for a minimum of 8 hours per day. And if you are not sleeping for 8 hours per day and you are a female, please, please, please have a look at your sleep, because this is such a game changer, especially if you're someone who has some crazy big goals like myself. Your body needs to be making sure that it can recover efficiently, especially because I am now training 6 days a week. If my body's not recovering, it basically means that as the week goes on, I get less and less out of my sessions. I'm able to give less and less, and therefore I'm not going to see progress as quickly as I want and need to. And I think that's been a big thing with this Hyrox prep, because the time is ticking and I do have a short amount of time. It's meant that I have had to go pretty ham with this preparation. So recovery has definitely been something that I have not wanted to overlook. And hopefully this is a nice reminder that it's not only what you do in your sessions, but it's more so what you do out of your sessions that is actually really going to make the difference. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much what my Hyrox prep has looked like so far. As I said, we are still 3.5 weeks out, which is so scary now that I say that. The flights are booked, the hotel is booked, there is no backing out now. Not that I would anyway. And I am definitely in it to come out with a decent first time, and not half-ass it basically. For me, when I set these goals, it's setting a promise to myself that I'm going to step up and I'm going to push myself as hard as I can, and this prep has been nothing short of that. And I definitely want to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer, because I feel like there is so much on social media about Hyrox, people running half marathons, ultra marathons. This stuff is hard. This stuff is so hard. It takes physical and mental resilience. It takes so much dedication because of the level of training and the time it takes to get that training done, and also the dedication to committing to your nutrition, committing to your recovery, and it does sort of take over your life to a certain extent if you want to do it well. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I am someone who is running a household. I am about to move literally next week, and then go away to climb a mountain that same week. I'm building a business. I'm looking after all my clients. I am training for this Hyrox. Let this be proof that you can be a busy person and still get it done. But believe me, it is not easy. It is not as glamorous as what you see on social media with all these people in their cute matching outfits and bows in their hair, having a lovely time, getting all the cool Hyrox pictures. You don't necessarily see all of the hard work that goes into it and how intense these workouts are. But if you're someone who loves a good old challenge, I would honestly say, like, I'm having so much fun with this training, and I am loving the challenge so much. So if you're someone who feels the same way, you will honestly love this. And these are the exact types of women that I work with. All of my clients have crazy big goals, and honestly, it makes me so fired up and so motivated every single day to push even closer to my own goals. I have a client who literally this week is cycling 100 kilometers, and then the following week I have another client who is running Paris Marathon. There is some crazy stuff going on in my world right now, and honestly, It's just going to get bigger and better as the year goes on. So if you are someone who has some mega goals, like myself, like the ladies that I work with, I'm going to pop the link down below this video for my one-to-one application for coaching. But if you are ready to go all in on your goals, fill that form out. I will drop you a message and we can see if we are a good fit to work together, and then we can go from there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, as always, thank you so much. A little bit of an insight into my current crazy Hyrox world, and who knows, maybe I've inspired some of you to give this type of training a go, whether it's just to mix up your own training or even to think about one day entering a Hyrox yourself. And just a quick reminder as well that if your goals do not scare you, then they are not big enough. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.